Hey guys, what's up? It's Diz. So, this is Along the Edge. It's kind of a choose your own adventure story game where, the choices you make matter in this young woman's life, and we get to find out what's going on. There's witchery and all kinds of craziness. I don't know too much about it. I read one review, it seemed positive, and little thumbs up was happening on Steam, so let's see what happens. From what I understand, it's just a story-driven game, so there's not a lot of action or anything like that. Well, let's find out what happens. Did you fart, dog? My dog is on the floor, and oh my god, he's like shaking a leg. What a way to start a game. I have a feeling this might be pretty serious. Let's see what happens. Along the Edge is an interactive graphic novel. I get to read all of this. Yay! I hate reading in front of people. During your adventure, you'll be asked to make choices that will define how your story progresses. Some of these choices will have direct consequences, forking the story in one direction instead of another. However, each of your decisions, even the most anecdotic, will have an impact on the personality of the main character, Daphne. Like Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Daphne, what's up? Your progress is automatically saved. The button's on the left, and it's a checkpoint. Blah, blah, blah. This button gives you over here. Menu, display options, sound, blah, 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 blah. If the music's too loud, you guys will have to let me know in the next episode, because I can't find out right now. I seem to be talking just above it, but we'll see. And when your decisions... Oh, this is the Dealy Bob right here. Now, I'm not sure what is what, but, earth, wind, fire kind of thing. Earth, wind, and fire! The differences in her choices will happen right here, and you'll see which direction she's going. And I imagine that affects the story. Okay. Along the Edge, your decisions are neither good nor bad. The branching of the story opens up different narrative hypotheses, shaping your adventure according to your choices. Choose wisely. Nice. All right. Hypotheses. So, is it settled? Yes, I guess I need this fresh start, this inheritance. It's exactly what I needed to finally turn the page. Go, there you go. Oh, okay. And that would be Daphne. I know you've convinced yourself of this, but are you sure of what you really wish to achieve by relocating? I'll try and read better, I swear. After all, you recently went through a major trauma, and there's still a lot of ground to cover. Oh, he's your psych. Okay. Between you and I, you know what I think of your decision, but I can't prevent you from leaving. Did you already find a job there? I swear I'll read better. I swear. Just let me get into this a bit. Yes, I did. I'm substitute teaching for a math teacher at the village's middle school. Oh my lord, I cannot read. Okay. A pregnancy leave. 6 months. It should give me enough time to get my bearings. Don't you mind giving up your PhD? No, I don't mind. Screw that PhD. Pfft, 8-10 years in school, whatever. Your research career was quite promising. Research. Nobody gets paid for research. No, but I don't have I have no choice. I don't know. I don't have no PhD. I don't know. If it really was a mistake, I could still come back here. It costs nothing to give it a shot. I see. That sounds like a whatever. I see. One last thing. I know your relationship with Frank is quite tense. It is. We broke up recently, and I used to count on his support. After so many years together, I need time. She needs time. You know what that means. She's out. I guess you're fully aware that you're about to break your ties with him. Are you sure you won't regret it later? Did you at least inform him of your plans? Oh, he knows. It's none of his business anymore. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Yeah, I mean, he took off to Europe, man. No, it's none of his business anymore. Screw that dude. No, I didn't, and it doesn't concern him anymore. All right. See, this guy comes off. I don't know, maybe it's because of the way I'm saying it. Listen, Daphne, You have my number. Oh, now. Yeah, call me. Ring. What's up, baby? Please don't be afraid to call me if you need anything. I'm counting on you. What's he counting on her for? Pull her shit together? I mean, pull her crap together? You're gonna have to bleep that out. Okay, I will. Then all I can do is wish you all the best. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. Oh. Chapter 1. August. Oh, I can't read this in the thing. I'm leaving tomorrow. Okay, I'm leaving tomorrow. I've inherited this family house, my grandmother's. I haven't known her, and now I never will. My mother had burned the bridges with this side of the family. The only side, by the way, since I've never known who my father was. I remember the birthday cards, though. My mother had hidden them between 2 piles of laundry in the linen closet. If the link had been broken, it wasn't my grandmother's fault. And here I stand 10 years later, inheriting this big house 300 miles away, having myself cut off all contact with my mother. Wow. The reading. That's what they call karma, isn't it? I don't know if that's karma. I guess you did it to yourself. Girl, you did it to yourself. The other PhD students asked me to meet them at the bar. I could also go see Frank. Say goodbye. Screw Frank. I told Dr. Duran I didn't want to tell him I was leaving, but it's my last chance to do this by the book. Am I really sure of my choice? This by the book. And of course, I can just go home. What should I do? Oh, you're asking me? Oh, just go to the bar, dude. You need a drink, girl. You're uptight. I went to the bar to meet the other grad students. I didn't have it in my heart to refuse. I've never really integrated myself into this small group. In fact, all they think about is their career at the university. Well, can you blame them? They're spending like $1 billion on it. I know I'll regret giving up my research, but on the other hand, I didn't see myself having a brilliant career. Despite their cool and easygoing attitude, I know the others would gladly kill each other for an article in Nature magazine. I've never been at ease in this environment. All I ever wanted was to help advance science. Add my stone to the building. I know it's a bit cliche to think like that, but it's the truth. Science will have to make do without me, and I don't think it's losing much. I can't believe I thought they wanted to surprise me, to celebrate me leaving. But then, I haven't told anybody, except my research director. He seemed a bit disappointed at first, and then, not that much. I should go. I have to hit the road early tomorrow. Take the road? Who takes the road? That's it. Everything I own is packed in a couple of boxes. I'd like to be sad to leave, but I really don't mind. My last night here. I don't know what I'm hoping to find there. A fresh start? I'm trying to convince myself of that. Maybe Dr. Duran is right. Maybe all of this is nothing but evading the issue. Yeah, girl, you running away. Did my mother feel the same when she left my grandmother's village 30 years ago? Girls lived up in a village, it's funny. Am I walking in her footsteps after all? The difference is that she had me. I'm leaving alone. I'm asking myself too many questions. Yeah, you are. I've taken my decision. Okay. I can't afford to go back. I can't undo what I've done. I'll try to get some sleep. Thank God we're driving 300 miles. I got up way too early. This trip is going to be long. Little by little, civilization slowly gives way to empty spaces. The highway is replaced by an interlacing of small roads, and the clear directions given on the major routes turn into a tracking game that's getting increasingly trickier as I get closer to my destination. I used to live on a farm, and that's no joke. We had these crazy bump things. I don't mean to hold you up here with this. I know you want to get on with the story, but we had these crazy, like, divots in the road, kind of like on the side of the freeway lanes when you're kind of veering off the right. It goes, "Brr, brr, brr," you know. We had those at because the intersections were so far apart that people would just be like blind driving, just zoned out, and would just run through stop signs, killing each other. So they had several of these things about a quarter mile away from the stop sign right by our house, which was not right by our house, but I could hear them. The first time I lived in that farmhouse, I thought it was monsters because I just kept hearing this wow, wow. I'm like, what the F is that? Yeah, it was crazy. So either way, okay. I was increasingly closer to get to my destination. There we go. Okay. Hitting the button. Shutting up now. Back to reading. The road goes through the village, which I cross quickly. Although I thought I was getting away from the agitation of the city, all this peace and serenity seems to hide something nefarious. I love that word, nefarious. Almost ominous. After a couple of miles, I turn into a dirt track. Oh, really? You're going to start racing? Overrun with weeds. I go through the gates, marking the limits of the family domain. This is my domain. Then on the right, I see a small stone house. This must be the outbuilding where the couple of wardens live. Wardens? Like if this is a prison? This ain't no village, son. Where's the soap? You got cigarettes? Okay. It was specified in the act of succession the notary made me sign. Okay. I decided to leave the car there. I didn't feel like driving all the way back in reverse if the track turns out to be dead end. Yeah, that's smart, girl. Walking a bit further, I see a man coming towards me. He's carrying a rifle and a dead rabbit by the ears. Well, girl, you are out in the boonies. Mr. Bortine. Hello, miss. You're on private property. Did you take a wrong turn? Ask for directions or apologize. Just ask for directions. You're not in the wrong place. Hello. I'm looking for the de la Tour family domain. Am I in the right direction? I think there's an English translation thing going on. I think I'm going to read it my way. Am I going in the right direction? Oh, you're not lost then. Why are you here? I'm Daphne, Adelaide's granddaughter. Gerard Bortine. I'm the warden. Nobody told me you were coming. Is the house open? No. Well, yes. It's been a couple of months now since Miss de la Tour passed away, so my wife, Gilberte, I'm going to call her Bertie. We've made sure everything was weatherproofed, not waterproofed, but the door isn't locked. Really? Well, the only path goes by our house, and there's not a lot of visitors anyway. The villagers usually avoid coming up here, you know. Why would that be? Creepy, creepy. Dun, dun, dun. Why are they avoiding the house? People get worked up for nothing around here. An old lady living alone in a big house who doesn't go out much, that's enough to make them talk. Sounds like a bunch of yappity yappers. Thank you, sir. I'll be in the house if you're looking for me. I'll send you my wife, Bertie. Send you my wife? I'm going to send you my wife. Right over. She'll help you open the shutters. Keep going along the path. It's not very far, and you can't get lost. See you later, then. I like how the people disappear, and then you're just left with the background. After about 500 feet further, the path in the woods opens up on a kind of meadow where the house was built. Although several generations of de la Tours lived here, I discovered this legacy for the first time. The building is impressive. This tower in the middle of the facade, the last remain of an older version of the castle, and certainly at the origin of my family name. Oh, okay. I need to take a little drink here. Hold on, sorry. Cafe. Wet the whistle. As promised, the door isn't locked and opens on an entrance hall plunged in darkness. Like they dipped it in that stuff. As I cross the threshold, I'm seized by the coolness of the old stones, breaking with the searing heat of the midday sun over the garden. Wait, old stones, not cold stones, Brett. Okay, shining over the garden. Yeah, I can't see much in the room, but it promises to be intimidating. That might be a nice change from the tiny city flats I used to live in. I'm desperately trying to open one of the windows to let the light in when I'm surprised by a voice coming from the entrance. Miss Bortine? Oh, Miss? That must be Bertie. An old woman is standing at the threshold. Yes? My husband told me you were coming to the house. Are you planning to stay for the night? Much more than the night. I'm moving in. Oh, and call me Daphne, please. I'll get my share of Miss and Madam when I start working at the school. So you're... I accidentally hit the button too early. So you're Madam's granddaughter, then. She used to talk about you a lot, you know. I remember you. Well, I mean, it was a long time ago. You were still a baby when Miss Sophie left. Madam never got over it. Well, I'm sure you have lots to tell me. But can't you do it while helping me open the shutters? Oh, help me open the shutters? Oh, this is turning into a Southern Belle thing. Oh, sure. I'm sorry. So, are you moving into the castle? You're going to work at the village's middle school, aren't you? Yes, I'm a math teacher. I'm going to teach there. Well, at least for the next 6 months as a substitute. So, tell me, how do you want to proceed? I mean, I know you've been working for my grandmother, but I'm not sure I can afford your services, if you see what I mean. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. The inheritance left me barely enough for the cost of the house for a couple of years. Oh, don't worry. Gerard and we've retired 2 years ago. But Ma'am didn't forget us in the legacy. She was kind enough to let us live in the outbuilding for the rest of our days. We'll help you as long as we can, my husband and I. We've done this all our life. Work doesn't scare us. And anyways, it would be boring to have nothing to do all day. But I can't ask you to work for free. Oh, no. Just welcome the help, man. She's a nice lady. That's great news. Without some help, I don't know how I would manage to get everything done in such a big house. And we'll be happy to give a hand. Would you like me to get some groceries from the market tomorrow? I used to do it for Madam. Since Miss Sophie left, she didn't go out much. No, don't worry, I'll go. It'll give me an opportunity to check out the village. Okay. Ooh, I got saved. Mrs. Bortine helps me make my bed. The windows, now wide open, let the stuffy smells out while ushering in the golden light of the sun, setting on this nice summer evening. Then she leaves me alone for my first night in my new home. I spent it watching the antique television in the kitchen while eating for dinner the leftovers of a sandwich I bought earlier on the highway. Yucky. I try to get some sleep, far from the reassuring sounds of cars and lights of the city, with this forced silence only interrupted by some disturbing squeaking of floorboards and the hooting of a hunting night owl. It's not surprising I got up in quite a bad mood, and if the sight of the empty fridge hasn't pushed me to act, I would certainly have succumbed to the inviting comfort of the sofa and wasted my day napping in the living room. The market. It wasn't exactly what I imagined. We all have this romantic notion of the picturesque little country town market, but this one was nothing but purely functional. Nothing romantic in the butcher's stall nor the fishmonger's radio. Tuned in a way too loud. I cannot talk. Tuned in way too loud on a local station that seems to broadcast at this hour of the day a playlist of songs that used to be popular but are utterly old-fashioned nowadays. Sounds about right to me. I'm buying some bread when someone boldly cuts me in line. See, it's written kind of funny too. Stanislas. Yeah, Stanislas. Maltaire. I'm gonna call him Malty. Give me 3 baguettes and 2 nut breads. Sliced, please. Look at that bearded fool. I'm sorry, but I believe it was my turn. It will only take an instant, don't worry. Malty's a punky. Keep calm. Get worked up. Screw that dude. Who do you think you are? You're not from around here, are you? Oh, he's somebody, is he? Big fish in a small pond, are you? What does it have to do with... What does it have to do with anything? Listen, miss. Please inform yourself before you start making a scene. It's a little bit embarrassing. See? I'm done already. It didn't take that long, did it? Have a nice day. What a jerk. The man put some change in the baker's hand before disappearing into the street. Seriously? Who's this guy? You're not from around here, are you? It's Maltaire's son, Malty. His family owns the sawmill that employs half the town. As for the other half, they're all in business with them. One way or the other. Does it give him the right to behave like this? Yeah, to be a jack bucket, rabbit, whatever. You shouldn't cross the Maltaires, you know. They've been in town for generations, and people say all sorts of things about them. Yeah, like boss hog. What kind of things? Strange accidents, businesses suddenly going bankrupt. People are quite superstitious here. Doesn't make any sense, really. They shouldn't take advantage of people like this. Probably shouldn't. Doesn't make any sense. Really? Like I can't believe it? I'm gonna go really like I can't believe it. Well, it's the countryside. A lot of people here still believe in this kind of stuff, I guess. People here are free to think what they like. I'm leaving the area soon, so you'll understand I don't want to drag myself into this. The others told me to be careful with this family, and I don't want any trouble. I see. I realize I've already been here a couple of days, and I haven't taken the time to visit the house properly. With my tight schedule, I stayed in the main rooms, going from the bedroom to the kitchen through the living room. It's high time I take advantage of the weekend to give myself the grand tour. Maybe I'll learn a thing or two about my grandmother and this family I know nothing about. I could also ask a couple of questions to Miss Bortine. Until now, she's remained very evasive. If I go see her outside her work hours, she might be more inclined to answer me. She's a very discreet woman and somehow always manages not to be in the same room as me. If I leave the kitchen for a while, to take a shower for example, when I come back I always find out that the leftovers of my breakfast have been put away, the table has been cleaned up, and the dishwasher is gently humming. House got a dishwasher? Man, you're set. I told her several times not to make my bed, that I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself. She seems to acknowledge, but keeps making it the next morning anyway. So I guess she might enjoy a friendly visit. Sounds like she's dodging yo butt. Where should I start? Oh, my mother's old bedroom. Check the tower. Question Miss Bortine. We're going to get to her in a second. I want to know what's going on with Mama. Okay, we got a little bit more time here. I'm going to run through some of this and then I'm going to cut this one off. But my grandmother used to live alone in this big house, so she kept most of the rooms closed to stay in the ground floor in the left side of the building. I've taken over her quarters, and with the nights getting colder, I'm happy I don't have to keep the whole house warm. I checked the other rooms, the parlors on the ground floor and the multiple bedrooms above. Everything seems frozen in time. The furniture covered with white linen sheets, maybe waiting for better days to return, like when Adelaide wasn't a window yet and my mother was still living under the roof. Her old bedroom hasn't changed since her teen years, even if I can tell that someone has hurriedly made room for me. This baby who was about to be born. There's still some band posters from another age pinned to the walls, and the crib where I might have spent my first few nights before my mother decided to leave. But there wasn't any white linen sheet to protect the furniture in this room. and it looks like it has been cleaned up very recently. Oh, that means they want you in there because they're crazy. You notice the horror game? Okay. Boo! Okay, never mind. Sorry. Ah! Never mind. What should I do next? I guess we'll check the tower because screw Miss 14. I'm curious about the tower. I didn't find the entrance of the tower. I searched inside and outside the house, but no door seems to lead into it. After randomly exploring the corridors and the rooms, I had to admit defeat. I'll have to ask Miss 14 about this mystery. However, while I was searching for the danged entrance, my feet took me to the basement where I discovered a treasure of old vines. The most recent wines. Okay. The most recent bottles were around 30 years old. I guess my grandmother wasn't much of a drinker, and the wine cellar must have remained untouched since her husband passed away. 30 years old? So where's the address to this place? Because I could use a drinky-poo. Okay. Did my mother come here during her teen years, defying her parents' rules to steal a bottle to share with her friends from the village? Most likely. And getting knocked up, apparently, with Joe, but okay. Was I conceived during one of these parties? Celebrated by sacrificing these rare vintages on the altar of youth? Oh my god, sometimes the wording kills me. But with my mother Sophie not being sober enough to resist the charms of a young local farmer. Hey, baby girl, come on over here, drink that wine up. When I was old enough to ask, she always answered with a hand gesture that my father was from the village and hadn't wanted to recognize this child he didn't ask for. All in all, she said, we were better off without him. Maybe I could bring a bottle to Mrs. Bortine. Oh yeah, take that bottle. Let's get her drunk and let's loosen those lips a little bit. As I take the bottle from its shelf to decipher its dusty label, it slips from my hand and breaks. Really? Suddenly I'm overwhelmed by this feeling, as if I was violating something sacred, trampling the memory of my grandfather, who might have selected this precise vintage to celebrate something special. I began to question my intentions. Is offering this bottle an honest mark of affection towards a kind old lady, or am I planning to get Mrs. Bortine drunk in order to extort information from her? Well, duh, I think it should be pretty obvious. I'm going to take another bottle, because apparently the game doesn't want me to, and, well, we're going to do this the right way. A white Bourgogne. She didn't like it. And anyway, I don't have to drink myself blind with Miss Bortine. I'm sure I can drink responsibly. Oh, God. Well, there was the PSA moment. It was trying to talk me out of the wine. What should I do next? Okay, just go question her up, and I think we're going to cut this one off and end the episode. But hello, Mrs. Bortine. How are you doing? How you doing, girl? Oh, hi, Miss Daphne. My joints are aching today. Must be the weather is getting colder. Summers always go so fast. It's almost fall already. Can you believe it? You know what helps, Miss Bortine, with that arthritis you're feeling? Yeah, that's that wine cellar has got lots of prescriptions down there. Just they're 30 years old, but those vintages are just as good as anything you can get off over the counter today, ma'am. But enough talking about me. I'm sure you haven't come around to hear the old maid complain about her rheumatism. Rheumatism. How can I help you, miss? Let's see. My mother's room, the tower. Tell me how was it like in the old days? I brought you a bottle. Yeah, baby. Oh, okay. Let's start with the mother's bedroom because of the sheets. I visited the house, gone into every room, and noticed all the furniture was covered with white linen and sheets. Yes, ma'am, it's your grandmother who's asked me to close most of the rooms. She lived alone in the house, and she never had a visitor. It was to prevent the furniture from being damaged. Why are you asking? Do you want me to open up the rest of the house? Well, that's a good idea. It's a bit of extra work for you, but it would definitely improve my quality of life. One of the rooms, I guess it's my mother's old bedroom. Why wasn't it closed, as you say? Because Madam asked me to keep it freshly cleaned. You know, when Miss Sophie left, it broke her heart. She wasn't the same afterwards. Right until she died, she never gave up hope your mother would come back. She asked me to make her room every day, just in case, she used to say. Something else? Yeah, I got questions here. Say, I got questions here. Watch the attitude, lady. I couldn't find the entrance to the tower. Do you know how to get inside? Well, I can't say, miss. No, I couldn't tell you how to get in my life if my life depended on it. Oh, I see. She can't get it. She don't know. It sounds like crap. Madam and your grandmother used to say it had been walled up, and we'd rather not know what goes inside. Hmm. Do you mean that no one got inside the tower since what, 30 years ago? 40 years ago? Whoa, way more than that. I'm 67. I've been living here since I was 14, and I always knew the tower like this. So no one knows what's inside, right? You must have your own idea, don't you? You must have heard something in the village, right? Well, that's just gossip. Nothing worth talking about. Oh, she's getting all gripey. What are you talking about? Please don't insist, miss. With all due respect, I can't resolve myself to defile your late grandmother's name. Something else is right. I brought you a bottle. I found this bottle in the cellar. Would you like to share a small glass with me? Oh, I'm not sure it's reasonable, miss. Allow me to insist. Girl, we getting drunk today. Okay. It would really be my pleasure. You wouldn't let me drink by myself, would you? All right then, if you insist. But but it'll just a small glass for me. What? Come on. But it'll just a small glass for me, I think. It'll just be a small glass for me. I'm forgetting some pronouns or whatever. Possessives. Something else? Yeah, I guess I gotta ask. How about another drink? Are we getting her drunk, or am I gonna have her tell me stories? I think I'm gonna get her drunk. I'm gonna get her drunk. Can I top you up? It's quite early, miss. I'm not sure it's such a good idea. I'm insisting. Come on. You're not going to make me beg, are you? Just one last, please. All right. I guess it won't kill me, right? Must be the first time I drank a bottle from the castle. Would be ashamed to let it go to waste. But it's my last. Or you'll have to call my... But it's my last. You'll have to call my Gerard to bring me home. That's Mr. Bertine. Don't worry. I'll keep it between us. It'll be our little secret. Something else? Apparently so. Tell me what it was like in the old days. Tell me what it was like in the old days. I mean, before Mom left. When your mother left, we were already at the end of our rope. If you'll allow me, miss. There were only your grandmother, Madame Adelaide, and Miss Sophie living here. Your grandfather died when your mother was still a little girl. An illness that took him without warning. The doctors didn't know what to do for this poor man. But when I had arrived, it was something else. There were lots of people living in the castle. The cousins, the uncles, the aunts, and a swarm of children. What happened? I don't know, really. There were some unexplained deaths, accidents. Some of them left the area, got out of touch. It all started when the Maltese bought the sawmill. What's the connection? There must be a connection. That seems crazy, but there must be a connection, don't you think? Can you really believe it's a coincidence? I can't tell, miss. All I can see is that when the Maltese flourish, the Delatours wither. Oh, I see. I met Maltese's son at the bakery, little craphead. This hooligan? Bob, this hooligan? I love the word hooligan. I know it's not my business, but you should be wary of him. He's a good-for-nothing who spends his time doing who knows what hanging around his car. Yeah, I agree with you. You're right. He acted like a jerk with me. Do you see? Exactly my point. That girl's getting loosened up over there. A couple glasses of wine. Well, since you're asking about the past, would you like to see the old picture albums? Oh, God, yeah. Could we sit and look at pictures, please? Sure. Tell me where I can find them. I'd love to take a look. Thanks. The cupboard in the living room. There are even some pictures taken by your great-grandfather. You'll see. Something else? See you later. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll come back later. All right, guys. I'm going to cut it right here at the what should I do next. I'm going to save it and we'll continue with the next episode. So if you enjoyed the video, give me a like. I appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. Let me know. Leave me some comments. Tell me what I should do next. What's going on? If you got any ideas for new series and things like that, I can't wait to do stuff. I got a modded thing I'm starting right now. The Hermit Crafters all started a mod pack, and I can't wait to play with it. I started messing with it a little bit today, and I think that's what's coming up too. But other than that, guys, that's it for me. Leave me a like, subscribe. You're awesome. Take her easy. Bye bye.